Hi, I'm Kelly Vohnn.
Hi, I'm Tatiana.
Welcome to Vegas Nonstop with Jonathan Scott.
And now we're going to do a quick opening number here by the great Patsy Cline.
Hit it, Bob.
Thank you, darling.
Sweet dreams of you every night I go through. Why can't I forget you and start my life anew? Instead of having sweet dreams about you. You don't love me, it's plain. I should know I'll never wear your ring. I should hate you the whole night through. Instead of having sweet dreams about you. Sweet dreams of you. The things I know can't come true. Why can't I forget the past? Start loving someone new. Instead of having sweet dreams about you. Well done.
Kelly Vohnn, Bob Cranston,
Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Peppermint Hippo, and I am Jonathan Scott. This is Vegas Nonstop, and this is the Hippo Happy Hour, which isn't easy to say. By the third glass of wine,
happy hour.
Hippo Happy Hour comes out like hippies on something. Anyway, so thanks for joining us and opening
Thanks
it up
for
with
having
a
me.
beautiful song. So
Thank you. Cheers. Salud.
well, somebody said, a beautiful girlfriend, Melissa said, here's the toast. I needed a new toast. And here I've got one.
Okay.
Instead of the stupid one that I've been doing for 7 weeks. May the only pain you feel in your life be champagne.
Oh, Melissa, that's a good one. I love it.
A little later on, Tatiana is going to be joining us as well. But you've got a new show
I do.
called Evolve.
It's called Evolve,
Yeah.
and it starts January 29th,
Okay.
and it's going to be at Notoriety at
Yeah.
7 p.m. on Sundays. So we're doing it for 3 consecutive Sundays.
Shout out to Ken Henderson.
Love Ken Henderson. They've been wonderful to work with at Notoriety. Just love them.
Ken is
And I'm
wonderful.
making a video for people who aren't really sure where to park. This was Michael Shapiro's idea. Make a video to show you how easy it is to go underground, go to the elevators, and the elevators take
Yes.
you right to the venue.
Been doing it for years. My friend Joshi runs the whole place. It's Neonopolis is the name of the place, but Notoriety's up on the 3rd floor. So the parking is really easy. If you come in off of 6th Street, I think.
6th Street.
Come up 6th and right past Denny's, you just scoot right down and it's protected and it's safe. And then you take the elevator up to 3 and Notoriety is right there.
Yeah, it's
and
fabulous.
I believe it's the Robin Leach showroom.
No, we're doing the Renkus.
Who's?
The Renkus?
Renkus?
Showroom? Is
he
it
die?
Rankus Marvin? Rankus.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I know there is a Robin Leach show.
Yes, there is, and there's
you're
a.
not going to be in it, but that's
No, I'm in the one with it's got the seats are like this, the theater
yes,
seats.
that's called a proscenium setup for you kids at home.
Proscenium.
And what I love about that room is it reminds me of the old Tonight Show setup with Johnny Carson, because if you were ever in that studio, it's a very deep incline.
Okay.
So this, it goes like straight up.
I didn't know that.
It's like about a 300 seat. Yeah, it's a proscenium
proscenium
stage.
Proscenium.
So let's talk a little bit about you and your career, because I know you for a long time, and I know that you've done Reba and you've done Dolly, and you've been a great tribute artist the whole time I've been here in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
So, Jim, is one of them your favorite? Do you like doing Reba more than Dolly, or Dolly more than Reba? And are there more?
They all have their special things about them, but I mean, Dolly is on such a kick right now, and she's also, although I'm not doing any impersonations in the new show, she's an inspiration for the show because she is in her 70s and she's going stronger than ever, and I love that. And it's, as women, we're conditioned at a very young age that we lie about our age. Even when I was in Nashville when I was 31, the management was trying to tell me, tell everyone you're 28. Tell everyone you're 28.
Yeah.
And this show, the new show, is about celebrating every age and stage of life. And you know who's producing it?
No.
Jennifer Romas.
Oh, I thought she was your partner, but I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I thought you were kind of co-producing it.
Yes, we're co-producing it. Yes. Yeah. But I mean, I want to mention Jennifer Romas because
So
she's
you might remember
fabulous.
Jennifer Romas from the Sexy with two X's, SEXXY, was at Westgate for the last 6 years.
She was.
And many places before that, and at the Hustler Club most recently.
Yes.
Um,
With Excite.
What I love that Jennifer does is the bathtub act.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
So is she
fabulous.
going to be on stage with you?
No. No, that's why she's.
So it's just you.
Yes. Well, me
I should say it
and
like
show
that.
boys. I have show boys.
You have showboys.
I have show boys.
That's
ladies.
the world we live in now, that there's showboys.
Yes. I mean, who doesn't love show boys?
I know a lot of people that do love showboys. And so, but do you do other tribute, besides Reba McEntire and Dolly, are there more?
Yeah, I do Shania Twain and I do Patsy Cline, but I also have a Barbra Streisand show, but I don't impersonate Barbra.
Oh, that's right. Well, I've heard you do Barbara, and you knock it out of the park.
Oh, thanks.
A couple of years ago, Kelly and I did our Christmas special with Pete Housley over at Alexis Park, and you could just sing your face off. you really
Fun,
could.
by the way. It was like after lockdown and everything like that, and
We kept going, you know.
Yeah, we
Vegas
did.
just kept going, and
Yeah.
everybody, pitched in, and we were streaming and getting content out there, and yeah, I mean,
People needed to be entertained. That's what I learned. And you know what taught me that? Was remember that video that went viral from Italy, and everyone was singing on their balconies?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cry right now. But everyone needed that. They needed something,
Right.
some normalcy in their life, and so that's why I think that pushed me to do a lot of stuff online to get it out there to people who were stuck at home.
So you mentioned Barbara, and you mentioned Shania, and Reba, and Dolly,
And Patsy.
and Patsy. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Lisa Marie passing
my
the other
God,
day.
It's
And the reason I
horrible.
thought about that with Patsy, because I actually met Priscilla at the Composer Showcase, which Keith Thompson produces at the Smith Center for the Performing Arts once a month, of all original music. If you get a chance to see Composer Showcase, and that's where I met Priscilla Presley, who was one of the sweetest, warmest, nicest celebrity people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Stayed and took pictures with everybody in the room.
Wow.
Made sure she talked. Had no security.
Wow.
No security with her.
Wow.
Priscilla. And she had a friend that wanted to do a one-woman Patsy Cline show. And Priscilla asked me to help her produce that show. And I tried, but it didn't happen. It didn't work for logistical room reasons and stuff that I'm sure you experience. But why aren't you doing any tribute stuff in this new show? What's it going to be?
Well, it's going to be it's kind of like a roller coaster of emotions, and it starts off in teenage years and going through different things in life, and it's about we all fall in life, and it's about getting up and how we get up, and and it's very uplifting. The message about it is very uplifting and helps women. Actually, we partnered with Dress for Success on this, so which is another woman empowerment. They help young girls or single moms and everything like that, and introduce them to their network of workforce and help them.
Jennifer Lawrence, not Jennifer Lawrence, who runs Dress for Success?
Norma.
What was somebody else?
But anyway, so it's about that. It's about empowering people. The whole show's about that. And I love my impersonations, but it doesn't really fit in this show. So there are no impersonations.
No impersonation, but show boys.
But the show boys.
It's okay for the show boys, huh?
How many show boys we talking?
2.
And how naked are they?
2. Well, you
Al
have to
Mancini's
come
going
and
to be
see.
joining us in a little bit, too. We've got a full house. Again, we're coming to you from the Peppermint Hippo at somewhere near Las Vegas Boulevard in Oakey. I understand it's closer to Colorado, but Oakey's the bigger street. Las Vegas Boulevard. Peppermint Hippo, you might know it as the old Olympic Gardens, and we're here every Friday, 5 o'clock. You're welcome to drop by and tune in and share it with your friends. And I want to bring our next guest on.
All right.
So if that's okay.
All right.
Tatiana, I'm going to have you slide over here a little bit.
Bye now.
But I want you to co-host with me, Cal.
Oh, I'm staying on?
Yeah, just stay on, because I want you to meet Tatiana. And I'm gonna read a little bit. Tatiana's gonna fill her glass before I start talking to her. So I want everybody to listen to this as well, because this is kind of an open forum, and everybody can ask questions, and so yeah. Big Bob's on it,
We got a top off.
and Rich is helping us out with
Katrina.
with microphones today. So first of all, I have to say hello, and I have to send you a hello greeting from our mutual friend Jerry Metellus, because I reached out to Jerry today and told him that you were going to be doing the podcast with us. I said, make sure and say hi, that he did one of your first photo shoots for the RJ.
Yes.
And-
He's been amazing. I know him for years. Hello, Jerry. You know.
A shout out to Jerry. So let me get through this, and then we're going to open it up for questions from everybody, including Big Bob. Tatiana, a star from Ukraine. Tatiana always shines her light on others with her smile, love, and kindness. Let's see the smile. We can hold off on the kindness. Originally from, how do you say this, Lugansk? Lugansk, Ukraine. Tatiana moved to the USA in 2004. Tatiana started as a young model, a singer in the kids' choir, and then was a rhythmic gymnast. What's a rhythmic gymnast?
Rhythmic. So gymnastic is, when you see usually it's on the bar and a jump around, but the rhythmic, it's like a dancer. So you dance with different elements, either hula hoop or the rope, and you just you use different elements. While
If it was a bigger room, I'd ask you. We had more cameras and we were in a
Next
studio.
time.
I'd say,
I'll bring it next time.
And then you were a ballerina.
Yes, I was. After their gymnastic, because gymnastic in Ukraine, it's kind of like a soldier camp. So I was telling my mom I grew up as a little soldier, and I thought, you know what? I'm done not eating food, and I'm done not having ice cream. When I was little, I was just dying to get some ice cream. And my friend said, hey, in ballet, you're still gonna dance, but you can eat more stuff. So I said, okay, great, let me go try, So I ended up to be leaving, the gymnastic, and I went to be a ballerina for about 6-7 years. So
Tough, right?
Did you get a lot of ice cream?
I did.
Just to figure out, how is the ice cream in the Ukraine?
Amazing. Yes.
How is
I'm
it?
gonna
Is it
try.
different?
Just another reson to give the Patriot.
Ukrainian ice cream is different than ice cream here?
Yes. I don't know.
Different grass for the cows.
Yeah.
Probably.
And less chemicals.
Different air.
All right, after you had some kind of an illness, you stopped dancing and you went to cooking school.
I was, as a little girl, I dream about being a ballerina and wanted to be, in the stage and stuff. When I got sick with jaundice, was a little girl, I didn't know what it was. And doctor, when they see me, they said, okay, well, 2 years, no dancing. So to somebody who's so passionate about being artist and dancer, it was very devastating. So, but I also have another passion for cooking. And my grandma said, why don't you go and try, you know, it always, because she grew up in World War II, she said, if anything else, you know how to cook, you're never gonna be hungry. As I was remember the little girl, gymnastic, I feel always hungry because I have no food.
I'm always hungry now.
Right? So I ended up to be being a chef for 4 years in Lugansk, you know. And
I'm
dance
still going
in
to
the
have trouble
kitchen.
saying Lugansk, but okay. 4 years of business management. After graduation, you moved to Las Vegas and worked at the Petrosian Bar
Petrosian bar
at the Bellagio,
at the Bellagio.
where our friend Whitney plays the piano.
Yes, my good friend Whitney, and I'm sure you know David Osborne, and we probably know a lot of musicians. Amazing time for me coming from Ukraine and meeting all the musicians in Las Vegas. So that was best place.
I love the Petrosian Bar. I used to go there and and get my hair cut at the Bellagio, and then I would go and have Bellinis over at the Petrosian
Caviar.
Bar. And caviar. In some magical way, Tatiana started becoming an artist and an art therapist.
Yeah, that's the something that I was never thought that gonna happen. But the Petrosian, as I was working for a few years, some days where it's slower and you were in front of people. Only thing I have in front of me just a list of paper, and I started doodling. I started doing some pictures, and one night I said, okay, I'm gonna go get the little kid watercolors and this little, you know, paper just to see how I do. Well, that was, I think it was 2008, and after that, it's a long story.
We're going to have a quiz a little bit in a minute here about all this.
And
then you went to work for Google.
That's where I went to. I left Las Vegas. I decided to try something new, and I applied for Google. It was a Russian, Ukrainian translator, but I ended up to be working as a team lead and working in Google My Business. And become a technical person. Nothing to do with artists.
And while you were doing that, you're creating large-scale art pieces, and you started learning sound healing.
Sound healing was really interesting because I was working one of the events in Sacramento, and one of the booths has singing bowls, and I said, what is that? And I tried, and immediately I fell in love. The person who sold it taught me how to do it right away. And a few years later, while I started doing therapies, I started using a singing bowl.
And you brought one?
I brought one.
Well, I think we should probably do it right now. Why wait? Right? Why, Richard, you can stay where you are. Richard, get in.
Well, I need one. I need two hands.
Yeah, Kelly, I don't know. I don't know what we do here, Tatiana, so we want to help you with this. So what do we do?
Well, if you just guys relax and take a deep breath.
I want to watch Kelly take a deep breath.
See, we have so much energy here, so I think we're gonna have a beautiful
I'm
sound.
just being silly. I'm silly. Okay.
Okay, so usually just center yourself and think of something beautiful. You know, imagine you're in a beautiful place, and you're gonna hear the sound. It may take you some other places that you're not even expecting yourself. But just relax. I'm gonna do very, very small version of whatever normally I do. But take a deep breath when you hear the music and just relax. Okay, ready? Welcome back to the earth.
Welcome back to Earth, everybody. Welcome back to Peppermint Hippo, the Hippo Happy Hour. I'm Jonathan Scott. This is Vegas Nonstop. I'm going to go back to my notes here. So that's the singing. Al, you got?
Can we get a dancer in here?
Yeah, you could. You could. Tatiana moved back to Vegas.
I think it's a D minor.
Modeling, and after 4 days, You were with Tony Robbins walking on fire.
I did. I'm a fire walker, so I did the first day in Tony Robbins event in LA. I just did it.
So you still walk on fire every once in a while, or?
This I did once, I think, and I want to do it again. So if it's
you could do it in August.
Okay.
Pretty easy to do here in Las Vegas.
I know.
Now, do you still have your own modeling agency called T Model Management?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, this right now it's this year I'm officially open, and my agency we're gonna create new models, and I welcome to new models who want to join me, and
I love that.
Wow.
Now, this is interesting also. In 2021, Tatiana started to volunteer at Santa Barbara Rescue Mission as for art therapist and healer for men in recovery. Why just men?
Well, it happened that when I got invited, it was just only the time was a person who invited me working with a man. So it was just that place just to have a man. They also have a women, which is right now I'm thinking about working with a women as well. So we'd be.
I know somebody's got some showboys that need some work. And then shortly after became a global art therapy healer and teacher online for people from all over the world. So why don't we give out a website? Do you have a website from people all over the world can find you?
Well, right now that's my website for agency. I know I'm working. The other website I still works.
Okay.
So,
And you feed the homeless. You volunteer at the church food bank here in Las Vegas. And I'm going to read this quote from Tatiana. When the war in Ukraine became much bigger than in 2014, your life became more stressful. For some reason, you started running more to get painful emotions out. You decided to run for peace. At the end of last year, you completed 2 marathons in Honolulu, Hawaii. You have a goal to run marathons for peace in the Ukraine. Your next half marathon is going to be in Las Vegas in February. You also started your own agency work creating healing art therapy and sound healing retreats, create more artwork, continue volunteering at rescue missions, and feed more people. Have you ever heard anybody read faster?
Jesus Christ.
No.
I think you did an amazing job.
But you also brought some artwork.
Her name should be Mother Teresa, not
Mother
not
Tatiana. Mother Tatiana.
Well, hey, I said, well, whatever it works,
Whatever works. That's somebody's slogan around here. You're looking for something, but I know you brought artwork to show us as well.
I'll show you after my artwork, but I brought something to show that's just about the marathon, the medals.
Oh, okay. Well,
so do you want? This is one of the pieces.
I think we all want to see it. Okay.
Is this a healing artwork, or is this just your other artwork? Or you said you do healing
Some
artwork?
of them came. There is, this is not particularly healer one. I do have healing
Very gold.
one.
Thank you, Rich, for that extreme close-up.
where
Okay.
I have when I work with people online when we created our pieces. So I have some of
Okay,
them.
let's hold each one up and talk about each one.
The last one I show you is little golden nugget. So it kind of recreates just a little piece. This one was created last year. It's colors of my home country where I grew up in Ukraine. So while the war begins, I channel my energy into something beautiful. So, for me, there was come up. I have not planned to paint this. It just come up while I was doing it.
Yeah, when you're inspired.
When I'm inspired. This was obviously a lot of sparkles. So it has, I listen to a lot of rock and roll music. So there was my
The
soul
kids love that
bounced
rock and
around.
roll music, don't they, Big Bob?
Oh, yes.
we lost Big Bob.
I was trying to learn Faith by George Michael.
Because you gotta have faith.
You gotta have a faith.
What's this one?
This create also by my spiritual healing for myself and other people while I was working with them. It's basically whatever you see here. This is how you interpret it.
I see a hippo. I see a peppermint hippo.
As long as you see something.
Again, we're coming to you live from Peppermint Hippo, Las Vegas Boulevard in Oakey. This is the Hippo Happy Hour. I'm Jonathan Scott. This is Kelly Vohnn. This is Tatiana. For those just tuning in. Okay?
That's beautiful.
So this is part of another session when I work with that I channel my soul. So this is basically a color of my soul. What I was painting.
It's the color of your soul? Mm-hmm. Let's see your feet.
Shoes. They're blue.
Yeah.
They're blue. see we're matching. I don't know we're matched.
That's right. It's not easy being blue.
And this is the last one, which is I said introduced me as a star. So there's a painting of little star.
Love it.
You know, come up with. Who knows? It was never all my paintings. It never. I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. Usually in process, I zoned out, and that's what happened. So
I have to ask you: do you have some message for our viewers about everything that's going on right now?
you know, I have a message for people to, you know, share more love and light and be kind to each other and, you know, support one another, because this world has a lot of difficulties, you know, every day. So meet people, you know, have more friends and be yourself, you know, and spread smiles. Right?
I'm going to open it up. Anybody else have a question for Tatiana? Bob, you got anything? Sue, Al, Kelly?
No,
Is that a wedding
it's
ring?
fascinating.
Rich wants to know if you're married. That's his way of asking if you're a single woman.
No, that's a secret. I don't want to.
So this is
This is what I'll show you. I was looking for this.
Tatiana doesn't want to talk about that.
No.
No.
Where's your next marathon?
Actually, that's what I was surprised that tomorrow I'm running 10K. I signed up last night.
Keep drinking, baby. Keep drinking.
Jonathan does that before it's open.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of like a training because I just did in December the whole Honolulu Marathon, so I'm gonna need a little break. So I'm gonna training
Where's
that
the 10K tomorrow?
in Lake Mead.
In the lake?
Here.
So these are, you brought them off. Let's see what it is.
But I see it. I don't know.
This is the 50th Honolulu Marathon finisher.
Finisher.
Doesn't say what place, it just says finisher, which I guess is enough for
1,000 something.
you finished. Yeah.
You know, guys, I got this. You want to ask about what you say to your viewers. When you start something, make sure you finish. You make sure you get it done. You know, your dream is always have to be first. You know, you're going to continue going.
I tell my girlfriend that all the time. Finishing is very important. Kelly's here just to laugh. Dad, I really appreciate you coming. Any other message you want to give out? Anything to your friends or your countrymen from the Ukraine, or anything you want to talk about?
You know, I would like people be more aware. If they could spread, you know, the word about Ukraine, and just to be kind to people, you know, from Ukraine, and just spread more love and light and peace. So that's my really message to everyone. You know, just be gentle with you know, everyone.
Well, thank you so much for bringing all this stuff, and I like.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Yeah, we're coming to you from Bob's got a question.
If we run into Vladimir Putin, we can kick his ass, right?
All right.
His ass we can kick.
Well, yeah,
Rich is going to take the microphone off of you. And again, we're coming to you from the Peppermint Hippo at Las Vegas Boulevard and roughly Oki. This is the Happy Hour. I'm Jonathan Scott. This is Vegas non-stop. And we've got people coming in. Again, you're welcome to hang out with us and drop by. And we also have Al Mancini, the host of Food and Loathing. Tighten it up here. Tighten it up, guys.
Food and Loathing podcast, engineered by
Food
Rich
and
Johnson,
Loathing.
who's here.
This is a really good time for a song, but, you know, I don't know that you have anything ready.
Food and Loathing.
Big Bob's got something ready, Bob. What do you got? It was more of a segue than a song, really. It was a commercial message, kind of a little piece in between.
I hope you use the restroom while that music is
It was a little
Well,
break.
made me hungry.
Again, Jonathan Scott, this is the Hippo See, it's getting tough now.
yeah.
The Hippo Happy Hour.
Good job.
And I look to you for a toast all the time also, to see if you've got a drinking toast.
A drinking toast?
Well, yeah, to all of our viewers, you know, wishing them well.
Get a lap dance. Cheers.
Hey, Alan, Sue, yeah, sure. You're back at the Hippo. Yeah, we're in the mood for a lap dance. So, Kelly.
No.
Please, you
Have
don't
you ever
ask
met
the
Kelly
guests
Vohnn
for
before?
lap dances. It's not right. Just
Kelly and I think both and Tatiana, we all love food. We all love to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's popular now is these tasting menus, where they're fixed price. You go in, you get 200 different tastings, and not really that many. My only exposure to it really was a chef named Charlie Trotter out of Chicago, and it was
Always pimping Chicago.
well,
I was representing.
it was
They
that,
don't have that here in Vegas.
experiential. Yeah, Charlie was here, and he died very young, but we've got a few, right?
Well, they're definitely, tasting menus have been around forever in the fine dining world. And it's really the way that you go when you want to have this special celebration, when you want to experience everything that the chef has to offer. And I think what you're talking about that might be making a bit of a comeback right now is places that do only tasting menus, right? Because your wife went to E, which was a tasting menu only restaurant recently. Le Cirque, which used to have a tasting menu but then an a la carte menu. They've transferred over to doing exclusively tasting menus. So a few places have gotten back into that tasting menu only model. But the truth of the matter is, I feel like tasting menus aren't as popular now as they maybe were 10 or 20 years ago, because the formal dining scene where, the courses come out in each order and things like that, people don't really dine that way. People right now at this moment in time are a lot more interested in shareable plates, tapas restaurants, reaching across, having a little bit of everything. Things come out whenever the chef is ready with them. That's really much more popular right now, and the tasting menus stand almost in contrast to that. That's a flashback. If you go to a French restaurant, the order that your food is going to come out. When your fish dish is going to come out, and your pasta dish, and then your fish dish, and then your chicken dish, and then your beef or your red meat dish, and they all come out in a very specific order. If you go to a Japanese restaurant and do an omakase menu, it's the same thing.
Say it again.
Omakase.
Which
Omakase.
Omakase.
Yes, and it basically means I'm putting myself in your hands. You're telling the chef.
Oh.
I
That's
put
what
myself.
omakase means?
Yes. So in the old days, before Nobu, if you remember, there was a day before Nobu, and before Nobu, if you went into a good sushi restaurant and just said omakase, you would sort of tell the chef how much money you wanted to spend, and whatever was fresh and there that day, he would make for you within your price range, and it was whatever just he thought was good. After Nobu, the omakase tasting menus took on that's almost that same French, not the same order as the French restaurants, but that same formality, right? So to me, a tasting menu is about a formal experience. It's about that you're going to get a little bit of everything that the chef has to offer. And again, to get back to your original question, the tasting menu only format is sort of coming back right now in a backlash to the fact that a lot of people weren't doing any tasting menus for a while.
There's another one on Russell, like Adami AMI or something like that.
Another what?
Another tasting. Well, they have another tasting offering. It's a regular restaurant, but they do have a 15-course tasting menu.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like an Italian wedding.
Are you talking about Anima? Which
That's it.
I've spoken
Which
about
to
a
me
lot
sounds
when I've
like
been in
enema.
here. Yes.
Maybe I'll remember it that way.
Maybe you need one after.
Yeah. Anima and its sister restaurant EDO, which is in Chinatown.
Yes,
sister
that's it.
restaurants. They both do some of the best price tasting menus in town. If you want to do that experience, if you go to the Strip to do it, I don't know what your wife paid to eat at E right now, what it's costing to eat at
I
E.
can't even tell you because it was that ridiculous.
But yeah, it's got to be, I'm guessing it's over $500 a head to do that.
Yes.
If you go to Le Cirque, you do their 8-course tasting menu. It's now $475 a head. And
that's without wine or without drinks.
That's without the wine, yeah.
I thought they paired it.
You can add
an
a
add-on.
wine pairing for an add-on.
Oh.
I don't know what Robuchon is, but it's got to be $500 or $600 for their big one. But
That would be Joel Rubin.
Joël Robuchon, or also the Talier de Joël Robuchon. They both do tasting menus.
Okay.
But again, you go to the Strip, you're $300, $400, $500, maybe $600 for tasting menus.
Before the booze.
Before the booze. You go off
Jimmy.
the Strip.
Jimmy.
You go off the Strip. Anima's tasting menu, I think, is $70.
Yeah.
I know that EDO's tasting menu is 10 courses for $80, and that's
And,
right in
and
Chinatown.
if I'm not mistaken, they studied underneath Jose Andre.
Yes, the chef studied under Jose. Yes, half the chefs in this town I feel that have worked under Jose. At
Oh,
this
have they?
point.
I don't know.
Yeah, because he's just such a huge influence. But no, you're absolutely correct. And because EDO is a Spanish restaurant, and Anima is Spain meets Italian, so there's a little bit of everything, kind of a more broader Mediterranean feel. But yes,
And you've been there.
It's around the corner from my house. I've been there about once a week, it felt like, for a while.
And you get the tasting, or just order off the menu?
Dude, I don't order. The chefs tell me what they want me to eat. You know, I mean,
What's that called again?
This is like living like Al Mancini. You just show up and they send you shit. I mean, yeah, I'm bragging because it ain't a bad way to live.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's a bad way if you're not that hungry. Like, because Sue and I will go out and we just want a couple small bites. We'll order, 2 appetizers, and then 12 dishes will come.
Oh.
But, which ain't bad, but again, that's why I look like this, So off the strip tasting menus, really a great way to go. Even Partage, which is a fine French restaurant.
Yes.
They do a level of food that is just up there with the fine
Isn't that
French.
like near Golden Tiki?
It's right near Golden Tiki, yes. See, you know the watering hole nearby, right? I know how to get his attention. So if you go in there, I had just jotted it down because they just switched to a tasting menu.
You know what I love about Golden Tiki? And Bob, I want you to have a song ready.
No worries, let's talk to Tiki.
Okay.
By the way, they have a shrunken head of me in Golden
that's
Tiki.
the picture I always use to promote when you're going to be
So-
on the show. Now I've got you singing, don't I?
Yeah, you do have me singing in the note, which is how people know it ain't me, because I don't sing. Leave that
Big
to the
Elvis.
pros.
Big Elvis plays, I think, the first Wednesday of the month at the
At
Golden
the Tiki?
Tiki.
Big Elvis is fantastic.
Another Elvis reference. I've got a reference.
So
Elvis.
before you go to the Tiki, you go to Partage. The dishes are just as crazy as you'll get at the fine French places on the Strip. I'm not going to say it's as good as Robuchon or Le Cirque or those places, but it deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as them. You can go in there. It's tasting menus only. 5 courses for 105, 7 courses for 125, 9 courses for 160. 9 courses for 160 there, 10 courses for 80 at EDO, or go to the Strip and you're spending $475, $500 more. So that's the way to go if you want to do tasting menus on a budget. But you go to E by Jose Andres, and that is bells, whistles, one table. The chefs, you have more chefs in the room than you have customers.
There's only
in the
9
room
seats
there.
in the restaurant.
Yeah,
It's at the Cosmopolitan, and it's like a secret. It's part of
secret
the other
room in the
restaurant.
back. Secret room in the back of Haleo. And you go in, and it looks kind of like a blackjack table setup. And you sit where the players would sit.
Right.
2 or 3 chefs are behind there. You got a sommelier over here. You got a server over there. Like people just waiting on you hand and foot.
Nice.
And the chefs create these dishes right in front of you and just pass them to you as they're done. It's usually 15, 20 courses. They're all very tiny. Jose Andres is known for bringing tapas to the United States, but he's also known... A lot of people call this molecular gastronomy, where the food turns from powder to liquid to...
What?
Right.
Well, think
Molecular
molecular gastronomy was
gastronomy.
gastronomy.
Okay.
Like gas.
And
Astronomy.
it's when you eat the menu and it tastes like cotton candy, or something changes from powder into liquid and you drink it. And it's crazy. So Chef Andres does not like the word molecular gastronomy. He helped really pioneer that at a restaurant called El Bulli, and he calls it Spanish avant-garde. So when you go in this back room, E by Jose Andres, you spend your 5, 6, whatever it is to get 15, 20 courses. You see
25.
25 courses, okay. That's where you see a lot of his molecular gastronomy. That's where you'll see crazy things. I've had them put rings on my finger that you then eat off. Like it's just just really weird stuff back there. It's like dinner and a show. You can't think of it as how much you're paying to dine. You are being entertained. It's like a magic show. It's like a Broadway show. It's everything you could possibly want. And it's well worth the money if you got it, or if you're buying, I'm going any day.
You're buying, I'm flying.
Exactly,
now, I have
man.
to ask you if you've seen this movie called Menu.
I haven't seen it yet. I may go home and watch it tonight.
I think you of all people need to watch this movie Menu.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great.
Don't tell me anything about it. Don't give anything away.
Don't spoil
But
it.
sorry, excuse me.
No, but she has a penis. No, that's the crying game.
Oh, that's the crying game.
That's the crying game. It's a whole different
I mean,
thing.
if they're eating penis in there, I'd be like, probably not
That's a
the
different
Big
movie.
Bob wants to add on that.
not the way that it happens. If you're in an OG state of mind. I'm just saying.
Big Bob wants to
Now,
talk.
there's one thing I
Sweetbreads.
I want Jonathan's and all of our viewers in podcast land to know: don't argue with anyone at Partage, because Chef Yuri, as you know, is a mixed martial artist.
He'll throw knives.
He'll-
Is he throwing knives?
If you get out
throw
of
you.
line, Chef Yuri, he looks harmless. I think he's only a middleweight.
Yeah.
But he has
Don't piss off the chef.
tempered side, yes.
So he could kick all of our asses.
Well, he's a little guy. I can probably take him. But
Now you're working up something that you and Kelly could wrap this up with, right?
He is a wonderful.
Because I want Al
and
to.
I do want to pimp. I mean, partage.
I want Al to talk a little bit about Neon Feast and Food and Loathing a little bit. Let's.
Yeah, well, Neon Feast, which thank you for pointing to my shirt. I appreciate it. Neon Feast is a new kind of restaurant guide for the city, for Las Vegas, as opposed to the Yelps of the world where you have to listen to every moron who has an opinion and you don't know if they're disgruntled former employee or whatever. Neon Feast, we only give recommendations from experts, from chefs, from restaurant owners, professional critics, the foodie influencers that I know actually eat the food, not the ones who only take the pictures of it. People that I really know food. I called them all. I sent them a survey. I said, where do you send your friends and your family when they ask for a romantic restaurant or for a cheap restaurant, an inexpensive place, for a late night hangout, for whatever, for Italian, for pizza? So we have about 550 restaurants on the app, and it's 100% free to use, and it is just expert recommendations for dining in Las Vegas. Download it. You can get it at the App Store. You can get it at the Google Play Store. You can go to neonfeast.com.
Anybody have any questions for Al Mancini?
Yeah, what about Food and Loathing?
Food and Loathing. Well, that's the great Rich Johnson. As I said, Nevada's greatest engineering marvel since the Hoover Dam. Rich Johnson right here.
Rich Johnson helping us out today.
He's engineering here today. Engineers the Food and Loathing podcast. Comes out every Friday. New episodes drop every Friday. It's a bunch of people sitting around talking about where we eat, where we dine. Serious Foodies is frequently co-hosted by Samantha Gemini Stevens of offthestrip.com or Rick Moonen. Celebrity chef Rick Moonen does it with me quite frequently.
RM.
RM Seafood.
Yeah, RM's been with us. He's
been here. Yeah, we've been here together.
A rare appearance by the moon.
Yes, but the Food and Loathing podcast also, we interview chefs. We do all kinds of stuff. This week's a great episode. I've got about 15-20 minutes with Chef Michael Mina, talking about the revamp of strip steak. We have Chef Carla Pellegrino, the craziest.
Back in town.
She's back
Guess
in
who
town.
we're going to have on the podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Chef Carla. We've had a lot of fun throughout the years with Chef Carla.
Do you need more wine?
I do. What gave it away? Big Bob, I'm going to ask you to change places with Big Bob.
Sure, let me just swap my way out.
Finish that one.
Okay.
No, tell about. Have you been to Limoncello? You went the other day.
I went to Limoncello. Chef Carla Pellegrino just took over. It's a great neighborhood restaurant. Already had a huge following on Sahara Avenue. But now Chef Carla Pellegrino is running their kitchen. She's a partner, so we talked to her for about 5 or 10 minutes on the podcast. I also speak. I think we're alone now. Tiffany, remember 80s pop star
I think
Tiffany?
we're alone. I thought that was the association.
It's from 1967.
It was Tommy James. It was Tommy James or something.
Tommy James and the Shondells.
I think. But anyways, Tiffany did it in the 80s when she was about 14 years old, had a big hit with it. She has been recording nonstop ever since, and she now has a cooking club, and she is doing a cooking. She's joining forces with Alicia Chevatone, a great pop-up chef and cookbook author who lives in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
The two of them are doing a February 4th event at the Space LV. I interview her from the road, and she tells me all about that. So tune into the podcast. Rich Johnson was at the grand opening of the Fremont Food Hall. He talks about that. He talks to some guy that sells soup out of a vending machine. I mean, this is a great episode of Food and
Vending
Loathing this
machine
week.
soup.
That-
No
because-
soup for you.
No soup for you.
No
but
soup
put
for
in
you.
another
Get back in
quarter.
line. No soup for you.
So I'm going to turn over my mic to Big Bob, right? He's
Turn the
taking it
mic
from
over to
here.
Big Bob. Big Bob.
I don't need a mic.
He doesn't need a mic. He doesn't need a mic. Just
you.
change
Thank you.
places. Any other questions for
Download
Al?
the Food and Loathing podcast. Or download the Food and Loathing podcast, the Neon Feast app. Just download all my shit.
Just check out all of his shit.
Real quick, now. The Japanese tattoo. Is that omasaki? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's an omasake. $899.
Omasaki.
This is
Again.
omakase. I'm listening to you.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Omakase. O-M-A-K-A-S-E.
Tatiana has a question?
I have a question because I'm an artist. I'm curious how many colors you have in your hair.
How many colors? So I never know how many colors I'm going to get. I go to my guy, Brandon Arthur. He's one of the best colorists in the world. He used to do my hair at Mandalay Bay back in the years, but he's out on his own. I show up and I say to him, do whatever you feel like doing, and then I look at it when I take the foils out. So right now, there's usually about 4 or 5 colors in.
I can see it like
How many colors do you have in your
How
hair?
many do you have in
Tatiana?
yours?
How many what?
How many colors
are
in your hair?
Just the one.
2.
See? Big Bob, what are you gonna play? What's Kelly gonna sing with you?
No, I don't need.
What are you doing? Big
We're
Bob?
gonna do.
Slide over. Let Big Al change with you.
We're gonna do a little rockabilly.
Okay.
Because I like the classic Elvis. You know the
While we're on camera, Rich,
the
you have to remember we're still on camera.
you know the Hollywood Elvis and the commercial Elvis. But I have always
Put it on. I think Rich will be happy if you put the mic on.
No, I'd be right there.
I've always
Okay,
enjoyed.
right there.
I've always enjoyed the the old time. So this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the song that Elvis was discovered when he went to.
That's all right, Mama?
No. In 1954, he went to see Colonel Tom Parker at Sun Records in Memphis. He had $2 in his pocket, and Colonel Tom said, "Well, it's $1 if you want to record a song, kid, and I don't think you have $1." He says, "Well, I do, sir. I do have $1." And they recorded a 45, just like Al's ring over there, the classic 45.
I also have a Priscilla story and a
Oh, good.
story for later.
So Elvis recorded this song, and Colonel Tom obviously recognized his talent.
Well, let me introduce.
And
Again, we're
change the
coming in
world.
from Peppermint Hippo. This is Vegas Nonstop. I'm Jonathan Scott. This is Bob Cranston. This is Kelly Vohnn. Kelly's got a new show
Called Evolve.
Evolve.
Starting January 29th.
And this
And
is
she has,
kind of
and you have boys?
Where?
Showboys.
Showboys.
And
So for you
notoriety.
ladies,
notoriety
you wanna
at
do the chorus.
Neonopolis.
Yes.
So will you do the chorus on this one with me?
Sure.
And I'm going to do a little more up-tempo than the Patsy Cline version.
Okay, cool. You've never heard the Patsy Cline
I
version?
have.
You
I've.
have, okay. It's our first fight.
Blue moon, blue moon, blue moon, keep it shining bright. I said, blue moon, keep on shining bright. You're gonna bring me back to my baby tonight. Blue moon, keep it shining bright. I said, blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gonna laugh me blue. I said, blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gonna left me blue. Well, it was on one moonlit night, stars shining bright, whisper on high, love, say goodbye. Blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gonna left me blue. One more time. I said, blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gonna left me blue. Blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gonna
let me
blue.
I have a request. Would you
God.
do the song again that we Sweet Dreams? Would you do one more a reprise or a
Oh,
reprise?
a redux.
A redux, a redo.
Redux.
Kelly Vohnn, Bob Cranston.
How about the last one, the last verse? I know. He says a reprise.
Short
right?
version.
So, yeah, the short.
We could do something else.
I looked at your list.
Well, we're live, so do whatever you want. While you're figuring it out.
Well, Al and Sue weren't here, so we'll do
Yeah,
it
so
for
do it
them.
for Alan too.
The
It
whole
was so
thing,
pretty.
Or just the last
Yeah,
one?
we'll do the whole thing.
All right. It's only 2.5 minutes, as you pointed out.
2 minutes, 16 seconds, yes.
Evolve.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet.
Sweet dreams of you. Every night I go through. Oh, why can't I forget you and start my life anew? Instead of having sweet dreams about you. You don't love me, it's plain. I should not never wear your ring. I should hate you the whole night through. Instead of having sweet dreams about you. come true. Why can't I forget past? Start loving someone new instead of having sweet dreams about you.
Oh my goodness.
How pretty was that, huh? Kelly Vohnn! Evolve is the name of the show at Notoriety at Neonopolis, starting sometime soon. Just go to their website at Notoriety and you'll find out when it is and how to get tickets.
NotorietyLive.com.
NotorietyLive.com. Anything else you want to talk about?
January
Records?
29th, 7 p.m. Well, my record came out at Christmas, so it's not Christmas anymore. So
I think it is.
year,
I think it's Christmas
Kelly Vohnn
every day.
Christmas.
If you live your life right, it's Christmas every day. Kelly Vohnn, thank you. Thank you, Tatiana, for joining us. That was very fun. Al Mancini and our peanut gallery over here, thanks for coming in. And as always, back over here, Rich Johnson on the camera work and the sound and his face and everything else. My name is Jonathan Scott. We're coming to you every Friday, 5 p.m. from Peppermint Hippo at the corner of at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and somewhere near Oakey. Wyoming. That's it. Thanks, Rich. And you could if you want to be on the show, if you got an idea or something, you could send me an email at news1lasvegas@gmail.com. That's news number 1, not spelled out, lasvegas@gmail.com. Jonathan Scott, always reminding you to eat well and party hard, my friends. Al Mancini, Food and Loathing, where are you? Neon Feast. Everybody, thank you for watching. And again, eat well and party hard, my friends. Rich, I'm going to ask you to push that little button that says finish.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks, Cal.